Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. So please bear with me while I pop out the chat windows so that I can see anybody who would like to talk to me today. And this was a little bit of an unexpected topic today. As I was heading off to bed last night, kind of discovered that, Google has turned 25. So I'm like, wow, 25 years already. Going back to 1998. I remember those days. We were heading towards the millennium. We were heading into the Y2K bug. And back then, you folks may or may not know this, but most people's internet used to be on a dial-up using the phone lines. And the internet was not fast back then. Streaming videos, streaming music was pretty much out of the question. Just getting a regular picture could take you anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes. Just downloading a picture. So every time you would search out a website, click on it, it would load up. You would do other things while the page loads up, and you could come back to it a little bit later. And back then, you did not have Google Chrome. Back then, you did not even have Google. Back then, you had Internet Explorer, which has been rebranded as Microsoft Edge, but back then it used to be Internet Explorer. There was another search web navigator called Netscape. And you had a lot of search engines, web crawler being one of those. I forget the names. We're going way back here, and my memory is not what it used to be. Needless to say that, there was better search engines than others, and every time you opened up either Internet Explorer or Netscape, you did have a search banner, kind of, sort of. But you also had like news, whatever was current, the weather, all these things, which made it extremely long to load just to be able to search. Imagine, once you put in the search, you had to wait until the website fully loaded in. But even to get there, you needed a search page, which took a long time to load in. Hence, somebody had a good idea of putting a white piece of paper, a search engine site called Google, which was all white, just one search box. There you go. So, obviously, my friends were telling me, you got to try this. It's so fast because there is nothing, no ads, no nothing. Just go there, type the search, and you're off. And I was like, okay, well, this is the beginning of the end. In the sense that, okay, nothingness is faster, I get it. But also, no news, no nothing. Ads, that's a good thing. Nobody ever wants ads. But I don't know. I like to look at something, I guess. But no, there was this white page and a search bar that you can type whatever you were searching in. And the page would load instantaneously because there was nothing on the page other than that search box. It was so simple of a concept that everybody liked it. Everybody started using it. It was loading instantly, and we can be off onto the internet searching whatever you were searching for. Yeah. I the same issues I had with it back then is the same issues I have with it now. Whereas I enjoy competition. I enjoy different things. I'm also the kind of guy that whatever works, I don't want to change. And honestly, Google has been working for 25 years now. It has evolved, it has changed, it has a lot more features and options and all these things. But my main concern is that when you have such a monopoly on something, uh you can censor, you can promote, you can push. You have the influence. The number one influencer in America today is Google. When you type up a search, it will promote whatever it wants to promote. Hey, Pretty Count, how are you doing today? I use Google. I admit it, I use Google. But 25 years ago, before Google, I used to use WebCrawler. And I also used my first internet web browser was Netscape. And then eventually Netscape disappeared, and then I used Internet Explorer. Yep, which Internet Explorer became rebranded under Edge. But long before the end of Internet Explorer, I switched over to Chrome. And Google has grown, but I've also seen that things are censored now. Back then, when you search for something, you would get stuff that wasn't even relevant to your search. I don't know how I could describe it other than the fact that you had so many things that were not necessarily relevant to your search. It took longer to get to where you wanted to go, but you also came across a lot more diverse things related to your search. Whereas now the way Google kind of works is like, well, when you search for something, over the 25 years, the information's been collected. So if I search for my birthday, Google will only show me what 99% of people clicked on the first thing when they searched for birthdays. But if I want a birthday clown or I want a birthday service, if I'm looking for something specific, it will be way off the list if it's not on that 99% that what most people are looking for. So, in a way, it kind of censored and turned away from different ideas and different points of views and different it's just showing you the mainstream topic, most search, most click, most everything, and it doesn't necessarily answer the question of your search. And in that way, whoever decides to, hey Google, take this amount of money and promote my this answer when people search for things. Oops. Okay, keeping an eye on the cats because I heard something weird. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Hey, okay. So, a lot of it evolved. You don't have as many choices, as many opportunities. And it's okay, I guess. I mean, if I want to search a controversial topic, I will mainly see one point of view. And that's not necessarily a good thing for people that like to make up their own minds. And I don't know how else to abort this subject because, I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, Google really revolutionized the internet because a lot of people were just turning away from the internet back in the beginning because everything was so slow. Everything took forever. All searches took forever. Basically, if you did not know what you were looking for beforehand, the internet web browsing or web search was not necessarily your best friend. Let's say I'm looking for the fastest car ever. You would not have Wikipedia. You would not have the world records. You would just have everybody that says that they have the fastest car, which is interesting because you get to see what people did to their cars to make them go fast. So, yeah, you're searching for one thing and you end up spending time looking at everything else. It was very interesting, but you would not arrive at your goal. Which today, okay, you'll just be shown the world record of the fastest car, but then none of the other topics which were very interesting. So, Google is a super huge influencer. I would say the most. I mean, if you want to search for the next president, whoever turns up in the Google search is probably going to be the next president. That's how much power Google has. 25 years ago. Struggle boxing, how's it going? I just started, I did not want to use it. I mean, I was used to web crawler and Netscape and other things. And people were like, no, this is so much faster. You need to do this. You need to try this. And I guess it took me 2 years to get onto Google. Just like for the longest time, even after Google Chrome came out, I was comfortable using Internet Explorer. I was good with Internet Explorer. I knew how Internet Explorer worked, why it used to crash, and how to fix it. But eventually everybody's going to Google Chrome. So I'm like, okay. It always takes me 2 years to do stuff. Like I was happy with Windows 95 and people had Windows 98. And by the time people were going to Windows 2000, I was going on to Windows 98. And by the time I skipped Millennium, that's a good thing because Windows Millennium wasn't any good. But when people went from Windows 2000 to Windows XP, I was getting on 2000. So every time they worked out the bugs, then I would move on to the platform. Well, Chrome, to be honest, I have enough resources to work Chrome. Since forever, I've been telling people that RAM is really important. Mainly because my first computer did not have enough RAM. I mean, how crazy was it when everything was using like 16 megs of RAM and I had 14? I don't know who came out with that number. It was either 8 or 16 back then. And somehow my computer had 14 and all the games that ran 16 megabytes would kind of work, but then I would get disconnected from the games. I would be disconnected from this, disconnected from that. It was so annoying. Then I just went, okay, I'm doubling whatever RAM is necessary, and haven't had any issues since then. Ooh, okay. On the phone. Well, see, then again, you would have like two. My phone comes native with probably Google. So if I were to install Edge on the phone, it would take up more resources because then I have two things on my phone. But you might be right because, I mean, even my tablet, you start doing stuff on the tablet and all of a sudden it starts freezing over and it takes forever. You just need to close the tablet, restart it. Phones are pretty much the same thing. Especially my older phones take forever to do things at a certain point. They're like computers. They need a reboot every once in a while. It's really annoying. Well, that's interesting to know because I personally don't use my phone to do anything other than I use the camera to be able to stream and stuff and for people to see me. But I really don't use the phone. I mean, it's an alarm clock. It's a device used to make phone calls. Okay, every once in a while I'm in bed and I'm like, "Oh, what's this or what's that?" And even though I have a laptop right next to the bed, it's still easier for me to lay on my back, open up the phone and Google whatever is picking at my brain at that moment. Even though I can turn to the side, but I don't know. I like being able to type with both thumbs, even though they're too big and the letters are not the letters I'm looking for. And I have to backspace and retype the things. Because when you turn to the side to use the keyboard on the laptop, you most times you only have one arm or one hand to type things, and it takes forever. You use your phone to play all your old PS2 games, GameCube, and much. Going back to Atari. Dang. Man, playing Q*bert, playing Pac-Man, playing Donkey Kong, playing Frogger. Man, those were the days. They don't make them like they used to. And it's a good thing, because I'm really enjoying games nowadays. Not everything, not the same way I used to, but I mean, I got tired fast of Atari and Coleco, and I never really embarked on the Nintendo. Strangely enough, when Nintendo came out, I was like, no, thank you. Super Mario, I'm not interested in it. Even though that Mario's the Mario from Donkey Kong, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but they kind of do look alike. But it was still very pixelated, and I was, after seeing the movie Tron and all these other things, and then by the year, you know, from the 80s to the 90s, I didn't see any evolution in the games up until Tomb Raider. Well, when Tomb Raider came out, then that's when I needed a PlayStation. That and Gran Turismo. I mean, Tomb Raider, finally we were embarking on the 3D adventure. I was waiting for 3D since the mid 1980s. And it came, just before the year 2000. For me, waiting 15 years for your games to be in 3D took forever. There is a Tron game in GTA, but you can never get anybody to join. Well, I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, the Tron game was so like pushed by the movies. Everybody was lining up at the arcade. You had to wait 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to play your game, and it was so fast. And to be honest, it was just square lines racing your motorcycle, trying to lock the other motorcycle in. I'm like, oh man, no, no, no. So I don't know what it looks like today, but anything remotely Tron just reminds me of these square turns that we used to do back in the days, and I'm not interested in that. But yeah, things have evolved strangely and in ways that I never expected. I did not expect, back in the days that Google would become this multinational company having so much influence just for a Google search engine. Well, not a Google search engine, but an internet search engine. And turning into Chrome and having Google Translate and Google Everything and Google Docs. Google is so diverse and it is phenomenal. I remember when I was talking to some people in Germany, man, Google Translate was so good. I mean, okay, people could know that I was using a translator, but at least we were able to communicate. Yeah, on GTA, all bikes give out that light that you try to destroy your opponent by boxing them in. Had the original owners never sold it to probably wouldn't as big as it is now. I don't know, but yeah, I also put lights on my motorcycles, my real motorcycles. I put lights just because of the Tron thing. I always thought that putting neons underneath your car was a waste of time, waste of money, and waste of everything. But on a motorcycle, people are always saying, I didn't see him, I didn't see him. So the more lights that I could put on a motorcycle so that people could see me at night was a good thing. Had the original owners never sold it, probably wouldn't be as big as it is now. Um, I don't know, eh? To be, I mean, I guess that's the same thing for just about everything. I can't know for sure. Nobody can know for sure. Because people were using it, it was getting bigger. Somebody figured we need to get this bought right away because later on we won't be able to afford it. Same thing with YouTube. Yeah, well, both of them are pretty much helping one another. And I don't know. they do have like a monopoly on stuff. Like last night, well, it's a couple of days now that people are like, why aren't you getting more viewers? Your content is so much better than a lot of stuff that I see on YouTube. Well, YouTube has this algorithm and it has to push whatever Google Trends is, even though they said they moved away from trends. Now they are promoting trends. So, yeah, you're not following trends anymore. You're pushing trends. Kind of sounds of the trend thing still. Instead of promoting good content or bad content or good discussions or bad discussions, I mean, some people I really like and I watch their YouTube channels, but sometimes it gets to be an echo chamber where they are not. It's one thing to explain to me why certain things are not working the way it should. Okay, Disney is a failure, Disney is failing, and all of these reasons why it's failing. Okay, but to promote it 20 times a day, why not promote something good every once in a while instead of rehashing just what is broken? Yeah, everything takes time. I understand it. I understand that YouTube is saying that, well, yeah, we need to make sure that you're taking YouTube seriously before we start promoting your content. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Crazy, isn't it? Man, I am humbled by it and I am finally like, ah, really? This is how I kind of expected it from the beginning. I mean, I honestly figured it would grow like 100 a day. It's not the case, and there is a ceiling at some point and at one point, and I'm okay with all of that. It's just that, yeah, I put in a lot of effort for only like four or five or three people looking at something. I agree. I agree. Since I've known you, my channel has grown exponentially. So thank you very much for that. I wish I could do the same for your channel, which I kind of try to do every once in a while. Oh, by the way, on another topic, I'm sorry because I'm getting away from my Google happy birthday, happy 25 years birthday thing. But yeah, last night I did download Halo. So apparently you have to pay for the single player campaign, but apparently I can play multiplayer for free. So I'm guessing that's what I downloaded yesterday. So I did that overnight. I have not tried it or nothing of that. I just know that yesterday I wanted to play Genshin, Jensen, or whatever, Impact. And first of all, I had to update, which took over an hour. And then by the time I got to it, the servers are down for maintenance. I'm like, oh man. Okay. So I didn't get to play much yesterday. Well, I'm almost finished the Left 4 Dead though. I still have two chapters in the last thingy. No problem really though. You've been putting a lot of world, so all the credits is yours. A lot of work, a lot of world. Okay. With you tonight if I see you on here. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. I'm always on. Even when I'm not streaming, I'm, you know, I was watching what was it, an anime yesterday since I couldn't play anything. It's Heavenly Delusion, which is really weird, but I kind of like the anime, so I might actually do a review on that. I'm looking forward to a season 2, but there's like two stories and they never cross into one another. So one episode is about a certain group you're following, and then the next episode it's another group that you're following. And it's so basically it's two stories, but they never cross. So at the end of the season, they still don't cross. So I don't know where this show is going. But it was fun. It was fun. Times have changed, and Google is changing, and Google is a super powerhouse nowadays. Not something to be taken lightly. And I don't know where all of this is going, but hopefully it'll go for the better. So I have been already talking for an half an hour here, so I will call it an end to this stream. And I will I guess I need to do some reviews or something. I need to do some other work, but I do want to start playing and streaming that as soon as I can. My cats are calling me, so I need to go and take care of them. So everybody out there, all you listeners, your viewers, your subscribers, thank you so much. Hopefully I'll be as big as Google in 25 years. So talk to you later and have a good day. Thank you everybody for watching. Uh, whether it is on Twitch, YouTube, come and talk to me in Discord. The links are in my profile. It's easy to find. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you again so much.